And his bio is in your program, so I'll save some time there. VVA National President John Rowan.
Good morning. I want to thank the Delaware State Council of VVA and the local chapter and all the VVA members in Delaware for inviting me down here to join you in the dedication of this memorial spot. And I appreciate the congressman being here and the state senator and the state assembly person and all the rest of you that are here, the elected officials, because frankly we need you. And I'll talk about that in a second. The Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall is the most significant sign of the unfortunate aspects of warfare, those that we've lost. And it's the most visible sign of our loss. I think that's the one thing that most people get when they go to the Vietnam Wall. Even when you come here to the smaller version, this may be a smaller version, but it's the same number of names. And when you see that long list of names, it personifies the war for everyone. So many of us have personal people that we know. I mean, I have a good friend of mine, a kid I grew up with. He was a little bit older than me. He's on the first panel, Jean-Claude Esnault, killed in '63. I went to high school with a kid named William Henry Bauer. Unlike me, he was smart enough to go to college, keep going to college, graduated in 1967, got drafted in '68, and was killed in '69 with the first calf. He was a chemical engineer. And on and on and on the stories goes for the different names. But these are the most public names. We know who they are. We know the 168 people from Delaware. We know the 16 from the local county. We know who they are personally. It's the ones we unfortunately don't know who've also been sacrificed in Vietnam. After the war, many, many more Vietnam veterans have passed on. I'm not a poet, but back in October of 1984, I was, by the way, I haven't been involved in the VVA since 1981. A president of one of the Mid-Hudson Valley chapters, a fellow named Jerry Serino, committed suicide. And I got the call at 2 o'clock in the morning to let me know, because I was on VVA's national board at the time. And it prompted me to really respond to something I had been thinking about for a long time about people I lost after the war. And it's a short poem, and I'll read it. It's called The Other Side of the Wall. In Washington, D.C., on a low grassy hill carved on a long sloping wall made of shiny black granite are the names of 59,000 plus men and 8 women. This is the official list of the dead from the Vietnam War. But there is another side of this wall, also containing a list of an equal number of names, steadily growing, of those men and women who are also victims of the Vietnam War. They died away from the fields of battle, as they are not as noticeable. Sometimes their deaths were self-inflicted, ending years of inner torment. Sometimes they succumbed to various diseases caused by origins known but not admitted. Sometimes death was at the end of a needle, trying to ease the pain in their minds. But no matter how they died, they were also KIAs, victims of the war, fought on the battlefields of the VA hospitals and the halls of Congress. And the list will continue to grow on the other side of the wall until those of us still living can win the war of the peace. In particular, one person comes to my mind who's in that category, and that's a friend of mine from here in Delaware. His name was Jimmy Harbison. Some of you may know him. He was very prominent here. He helped form VVA in Delaware. He was one of the earliest members of VVA. He was an early member of your state commission. He helped build the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in the state. And unfortunately left us way too early from one of the many cancers that Agent Orange victims suffer. And so today, while we remember all those on the wall, I would also like to remember Jimmy. Thank you.